everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rose, for all of you that are new here. And in this series, we're doing book reviews. Specifically, I'm reading the book, and then I'm coming back to you with theories, the people that we've met, and all the spoilers. Yes. So if you're interested in videos like this, then please hit that subscribe button. Go ahead and give this video a like, and stay tuned, because we are getting into book 2, Crescent City, A House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J. Maas. We just started. If you want to see book 1 and everything that happened in book 1, then please go to my channel, go into the list, and book 1 is there, titled with each chapter up until the ending, which that video just posted. So enjoy, and without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, so we're doing book 2, and unlike book 1, because I was not prepared, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, right? Like, it's Sarah J. Maas. Anyway, so like book 1, there's different parts. There's 3 parts to the book. So you have part 1. Well, there's the prologue. Hold on. And let me tell you, I've been wanting to make this video, but I had to get the last one up first. So part 1 is the Chasm. Okay, and then part 2 is the Abyss, and then part 3, because I have them tabbed, part 3 is the Pit. So instead of doing like I did with book 1 and doing every couple of chapters, or when I hit like a mind-blowing, oh my god, I need to talk to you guys about this, and hope that I have some kind of conversation down in the comments. Yeah. So, I read part 1 through part 2. So, I read the Chasm, which this is chapters 1 through, in case you guys want to know the chapters, 24. And then that's pages 26 through 273. Yeah. So, so that's where I'm at so far. So let's get into this review, because with book 1, you know, we had all the world building and everything like that, and then the last 400 pages, which, I mean, we did have some like oh my god moments throughout the book, but like the last 400 pages is where Sarah J. Maas just like took you in a chokehold and left you there. Yeah. So far, just like before, the people that we've met. So I'm going to go over the people that we met in these first 24 chapters. That may be our new, like, all-time characters, I don't know, or our new main characters, whatever. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm so excited. So, the first person that we met was Sophie, and she's part of a rebel group, and she is able to gather electricity because she's a Thunderbird. So I haven't figured out exactly what a Thunderbird is. All I know is that the hierarchy of Crescent City had like wiped out their existence because they had too much power or something like that. We haven't gotten the gist of it all yet, because we're just now, you know, we're just getting into it. So we're gonna keep Sophie here. She's definitely somebody that of interest, big interest. Then we have a person called Silver, I believe. Their power, not sure. Only had like a single mention of them, so I'm not sure either, like how much interaction we're going to have with them. Then we have, I'm going to mispronounce his name, but we have Emil. Emile? I'm going to go with Emile. He is Sophie's brother, and he was in, like a prisoner camp where they kept kids. I think where they kept, like, anybody. And they didn't know the power that he possessed. He is also a Thunderbird. He has, I think, the same powers as Sophie has, but I don't know, kind of like Bryce when she made the drop, like, you don't know how much power she's actually going to have until the drop's done. So yeah, I'm not sure how much power either one of them have. We also met the Hind. So the Hind was talked about in the last one, and we got to see her. She was hunting Sophie in the beginning, and like chained her to a brick and dropped her into the ocean. Yeah. So it says that the Hind is a deer shifter, and her name is, now I kept calling her Lydia. But it might not be Lydia. Might be Lydia. But that's how I'm pronouncing her name. We also got 2 new archangels, thanks to Micah and Sandral being dead. We have Ephraim, and then we also have Celestina. So that's how I'm pronouncing her name. So Celestina, or I would just, yeah, we're going to go with Celestina. I don't know if that's right, but that's where my brain's going. You know, same thing happened, anyway. So she is now in charge of Hunt and the 33rd. So that's now her, she's now the governor there. And then we got to meet another handsome fae. Cormac. So he is the prince of Andel. I'm totally not pronouncing that right either. And he is betrothed to Bryce. So we did find out that he can control shadows, just like our boy Rune can. And he's also a rebel agent called Silverbow. Yo, listen. Okay, so, theories. While we're reading this, during different points of the story, Bryce now has a permanent, like, it looks, to me, it reminds me of a birthmark. So, B now has a star birthmark on her chest, and every so often, depending on her emotion, I feel like it shines. Sometimes at the worst moments, you know, when you're like trying to sneak around in the dark, and then all of a sudden you got this bright starlight like illuminating from your chest. Yeah. So I think depending on her emotion is when it lights. But I feel that the star lights more when she's experiencing some form of the emotion love. Could totally be wrong, but yes. Okay. So we also had another interaction with Adidas, you know, one of our princes of hell. He's helping the rebels? Like, what? Yeah. We're not sure exactly what his prerogative is, or what his angle is. But I don't think he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart. I think he doesn't want certain things to occur, and he's trying to help. But at the same time, the one thing that he said was, you know, the current war, the current situation that we're in, is the same war from hundreds of years ago, just a different name. So it's like history is repeating itself. And instead of allowing that history to repeat itself, he wants to help put an end to it. Like, put it finally to rest and be done with it. So, I'm hoping that's his end game, but, yeah, I mean, he's a demon. There's got to be, he wants something else. We have to figure out what it is that he wants. So, we did find out during this meeting with Adidas that he basically tells Bryce, so, let me back up a little bit. So, we're in Bryce's house, and Cormac's there, and Ethan is there, Rune, Hunt, Bryce, and when Bryce gets home, Ethan's like, I didn't know you had a cat. Fucking idiot. So, she's like, it's not my cat. Adidas, what do you want? And Ethan's like, what? So then Adidas jumps over to the coffee table and is like, well, hello, Bryce. Then Ethan's like, oh my god, it fucking talks. Jesus Christ. I love it. Anyway, so in the midst of this interaction, you know, he's basically telling them, like, you're gonna need to do certain things, and you've got to find Sophie first. You have to find Sophie, and you have to find her brother, Emil, because they're going to be key components in this war. And whoever finds them first is going to have, like, an advantage. And we don't want the wrong people having the advantage. We need, you know, the good guys to have the advantage, right? So, he's sitting there and he's talking, and then all of a sudden, here comes Cormac coming through the door, or a portal that he's made himself present inside Bee's house. And she's like, how the fuck did you get past the wards? And he's like, well, Adidas has left them open for me, so apparently I'm supposed to be here. And Adidas goes, welcome to the conversation, Agent Silverbow. And everyone's like, wait, what? Yo. What? And he's like, seriously, dude. Just, I mean, like, blow my cover. Don't know if I can trust anybody in this room, but sure. Hi, I'm an undercover agent for the rebels. Anyway. So, it goes on to say, they're sitting there and they're talking about this whole rebel cause, and Adidas is gonna, like, come back to them with other, not proposals, but, like, other things that they have to do. Like, he's gonna be in constant contact with them to try to help them as much as possible. And he then turns to Bryce and he says, also, the demons that came out of the gate, Bryce, when you closed them, they're now at your command. You can control the demons. And she's like, no, I can't. What are you talking about? And he's like, you need to come into your power. You and Bryce, or not you and Bryce, you and Hunt need to come into your full power. Like, you guys have only scratched the surface of what it is that you can do. So I need you guys to, like, start training. Like, you need to do more. And then Adidas, as his parting words, is like, oh, and your fiance, Cormac? Yeah, he can help you with that. To be. And Cormac's like, dude. And Marine's like, oh yeah. Because he was totally obsessed with, like, the Starborn powers and all this stuff. Like, he's a walking encyclopedia. He can totally help you with everything that you need. So, Bryce now needs to train with Cormac. Yeah. So there's that. So things that have happened is, during all this, Cormac's willing to make a deal with Bee. She wants out of the engagement, obviously, because her and Hunt are officially dating. They haven't had any kind of sexual encounters. They want to wait until solstice. But in the midst of all this, every time Sophie is mentioned, Cormac kind of stiffens. So we have a feeling that Cormac and Sophie were either together or involved. But I believe Cormac has feelings for Sophie. So hopefully with Bryce trying to find her and to help Cormac find her, that can be another way to break off this engagement, because it's total horseshit. So, yeah. So, he's willing to make a deal. We also find out that Danica knew Sophie and the rebel cause and was also trying to possibly help them. Bryce had found some hidden letters in the coffee table because Ethan had broken the coffee table. So let's get into that story real quick. So Bryce leaves. Well, let me start over because we don't even know why Ethan's there. So with Ethan going against Sabian's direct orders to not help Bryce when, the demons were coming out and attacking the human section. He's basically, said, fuck that's not happening, and him and a couple of other shifters went and helped. And in doing so, he got kicked out of the wolf pack. So he's now a lone wolf with no pack, no sense of direction, like he doesn't know what to do. So he showed up on Bryce's doorstep and basically asked for help. So since Bryce feels bad for him and about everything that has occurred to him, she doesn't want to push him away this time like she did when his brother died. Like, she wants to be there to help him. So she's offered to let him stay with her. And hopefully they can rekindle a relationship. But he's also now going to be helping out with finding everybody because he now lives there. And yeah, she's like, well, guess what? Now you're drug into this situation, so you can help. So while he's there, he finds Danica's sword in Bryce's closet, the hallway closet. And he takes it out and he's talking about how balanced it is and how wonderful it feels to hold it. And like a typical boy, he thinks he's some kind of an action figure war hero. And he starts going through like all of these stance and movements with the sword. And then he is fighting imaginary people with the sword. Like, slicing the air and everything, okay? And he jumps up on the coffee table only for Bryce to come back in. She's like, the fuck are you doing? And the coffee table breaks, and all of these papers that were in a hidden drawer that neither one of them knew about fall out, and Bryce then realizes that Danica knew Sophie and was trying to help her. So, Sophie and Emil could be anywhere. Per some emails that Cormac was able to find on Sophie's computer, or however they communicated, she was told there is a location in Crescent City that is safe for her to go to, or for her and her brother to go to hide, should they need it. So the only thing that we can think of is that maybe they're in the bone quarter, because everybody's dead, so nobody's gonna look in the bone quarter. It's gonna be the last place for people to look. So with that, since Jessica is a helper to the Underking, we're thinking, or at least I'm thinking, then is Jessica, as I said before, she had that whole library. Could she be part of the rebel cause? Like, could she be another person heading this up? And then, in fact, does that mean that the Underking is even possibly willing to help, if at all? So I still think that Jessica could be part of the rebel cause, just like we didn't think Cormac was part of it. When we first met him, he was just some kind of an arrogant asshole prince that was like, yeah, I'll marry Bee. She's got the Starborn power. We can mate, have kids, and our our line could be even better than what it is now. Anyway, so there's that. We also met another undercover agent. We don't know who she is yet, but her name is Agent Daybreak. So we know that Sophie was captured by the Hound, and somehow she survived and escaped the cuffs in the ocean. Because after she was dropped in there, the Queen of the Blue Court wants Sophie. Whether she's dead or alive, she wants Sophie. And we're like, you can't, like, what if she's turned to dust, like, or not even turned, what if stuff started eating her? I mean, we don't, ew, so, we're like, okay. Anyway, so she sends out Theron to go hunt down Sophie's body. And they find the stone, and they find the cuffs, but her body's gone, and the cuffs are unlocked. So somebody had to rescue her. You can't break out of those cuffs. Like, they stop your magic, from my understanding. So Theron reports that back, but in the middle of all that, he's also starting to do his own investigation. And, he was there when Adidas was in Bryce's house, and so him and Ethan, Theron and Ethan, are kind of like teamed up, and they're trying to find Sophie or Emil, one or the other, or both. Since Ethan can spell because of his wolf senses, great, and Theron can, I don't know how he can help. He can control water, but whatever, I don't know. So they're trying to help. But we don't know who this Agent Daybreak is. But Sophie had the only way to contact Agent Daybreak, and Cormac is hoping that Rune, because of his telepathy, that he can hold on to this crystal that allows them to communicate wherever, that he can use his gifts through the crystal and find Agent Daybreak and talk to her. Or talk to them. We didn't know it was a her until Rune actually makes contact. And she comes to him in like this fiery glow of a person. So we don't know who it is. However, I do have a theory. My theory is that Daybreak is the Hind. And we know that Sophie was captured by the Hind. But then there wasn't anything else to it. And then Sophie escaped. And it's like, well, how did she escape? So I just have this, I don't know, this just, that it's, that the Hind is Agent Daybreak. And just like some of Sandrel's people, the Hind puts on a good front, but it's not who she is. Yeah. So there's that. So during all of this, when they are out trying to investigate, Rune and Bryce are walking, and they're just kind of talking amongst themselves. And all of a sudden it gets really cold, and there's a Reaper from the Bone Quarter. And they capture Rune. And she's like, what the shit? And they take him. And they go down into, like, the sewers. And she's like, holy shit. Like, let go of him. You've got no reason to take him. Like, what the fuck is going on? So, I don't understand how the Reapers work yet. But someone or something is controlling some Reapers to do their dirty work. Like, Rune must have gotten too close to something that's triggered them, kind of like the demon, right? So, I'm not sure what's happening there. But we did find out that the Reapers are staying far away from Bryce because of her star power. And when she picks up the Star Sword, you know, her power's channeled through it, and the Star Sword can kill Reapers. Which we didn't think was possible, because Reapers are dead. Like, they're just bones. Yeah. So, the Star Sword can kill Reapers, so that's cool. So then, what happens next? Hunt is sleeping, and all of a sudden he's pulled into a dream. And he's pulled into a dream by the Demon of the Pit. So the Demon of the Pit is supposed to be like the worst of them, right? Like, that's where our demon came from, that was hunting that was being summoned to hunt for the horn. And this Prince of the Pit is like, you need to help me. And Hunt's like, are you fucking crazy? And the demon's like, I'm gonna have something that you want, and either you help me or shit's gonna not, it's not gonna work. So during this dream, Bryce is like, Hunt, what's going on with you? What's wrong? Couldn't wake him. And before releasing him from the dream, the Demon of the Pit tells him, Emil is in the Bone Quarter. You need to get there, like, before anybody else does. So we're like, holy shit, right? So Hunt wakes up, and we're assuming that he, you know, tells Bryce or something, because they go searching closer to the Bone Quarter. And in the midst of Theron and Ethan searching, Ethan comes across the smell of something that's dead or has died. And they stumble across a seal shifter that was tortured and killed. And from what Ethan can smell, she has the scent of a boy on her. And we are guessing that that is Emil. So, yeah. And that's where we stopped. So that was the Chasm. You know, a lot of stuff had happened. We've gotten a lot of people. We also, which, you know, I was so focused on reading this that I didn't even, highlight anything. You know, like my last book, it had like a whole bunch of, you know, yeah, I didn't highlight anything in this one, in this chapter. But, the other thing that is not so good is that I want to call her Celeste, the new archangel of Crescent City, Celestina, has also taken over some angels from Sandrel's barracks, I guess, or like her protectors, or her, I forget what the hell they call it, like her select few, right, to protect her or to do her dirty work, was Pollux and the Hellhound, which was Baxen. So Pollux likes to torture people. We know that from the first book. And him and Hunt get into a nice big fight. And Celestina is like, yeah, that shit's not gonna fucking happen here. So she's like, you two need to work your shit out. And Hunt's like, you don't even know what the fuck he's done. Like, and it was him, the Hellhound, and the Hind. And I guess Pollux and the Hind are together. Or at least they fuck, I believe. Whereas the Hellhound just kind of like stays out of the way. But, as we see different interactions with them at the barracks, because the Hellhound and Hunt are not teaming together, but Celestina wants Hunt to show the Hellhound around and like what to do and where to go and things like that. And then Naomi is to do the same stuff with Pollux, and she's like, really? Me? Who the fuck did I curse in the last life to get this fucking asshole? Because she also knows, like, what he used to do for Sandral. So, the Hellhound did make some comments to Hunt, like, you know, he did shit that he didn't want to do. You know, he was forced to because that's what his boss had asked. Just like Hunt killing people because that's what Micah wanted, you know, to cover up. Now thinking about it, Micah was probably having Hunt kill people because they saw Micah doing shit he wasn't supposed to do, that he then admitted to and died. Still can't get over that. But anyway, so we have Pollux and we have the Hellhound now within the same barracks as Hunt and Naomi, and I can't think of the other guy's name, but the commander of the 33rd with Celestina, and I'm not sure how that's going to work. They keep saying that the Hind is on her way to Crescent City, so we're waiting for her to get there. Don't know exactly what's taking her so long to get there. Other than, you know, that just puts my theory of her actually being part of the rebel cause a little bit more to the forefront, because she's still not there, so what exactly is she doing? But yeah, so we are just in the midst of it. We're only 200 pages in. So I'm going to end the video here because I'm going to, you know, read The Abyss, which is the next section. And that's from pages 277 through, hold on, 529. So I'm gonna try to be better because I'm so excited to move on to book 2. I will make sure that I highlight stuff and take down, you know, obviously better notes. But yeah, so the first part of this book was, there's a lot going on. You're not dealing with just 2 main characters, you're dealing with several main characters, and I can't wait to see how it plays out. Like, can't wait. So, I hope you guys like this video. If you have read book 2, or if you're reading along with me and you have your own theories, please leave those in the comments below. I would love to have some kind of a conversation with somebody other than myself. And, you know, don't leave any spoilers for me, because I do want to experience them, obviously, for myself. But, yeah. So, you know, leave comments, like the video, give it a thumbs up, and I will be back with part 2 in a little while. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read through there, but goodness, yes. So, happy reading. Thank you for tuning in and watching this video, and I will see you all later. Bye!